Good morning. Today we are continuing with our areas and perimeters, working with those geometric shapes. And today we are talking about CO68. I can calculate the area of a triangle and a trapezoid. There are some tricks to this, so we really need to pay attention. The area, remember, is the number. Let's move it up a little bit. The area is the number of square units needed to cover a figure. Remember that perimeter is the fence going around the outside of our yard. The area is how much grass we need to cover the inside of the yard. A triangle is a three-sided figure. The formula for the area of a triangle. Who remembers this? Jimena? Divided by what? Yeah. We could say base times height divided by 2, or you could say 1/2 of the base times the height. It means the same thing. So you could take 1/2 of the base, 1/2 of the height, and multiply them. Or you could do base times height and just divide it by 2. It means the exact same thing. A trapezoid. Anybody know what a trapezoid is? The triangle is easy. You know a triangle has 3 sides. What is a trapezoid, Madison?
It has 4 sides.
It does. It is a quadrilateral, but it is not any old quadrilateral.
It has like there's like 2 sides for it.
So it has exactly 1 pair of parallel sides. And the shape that Madison drew looked like this. So we know the top base and the bottom base are parallel. If we continue those lines on, they will never cross. Look at our diagonal sides. Are those going to cross at some point? Yeah, because if I continued that and I continued this side, we can see that they are going to cross. So it's only 1 pair of parallel sides. When we were talking about rectangles, the top and the bottom were parallel, they'll never cross. The side and the side were parallel and will never cross. So they have 2 pairs of parallel sides. The trapezoid only has 1 pair because it has slanted sides that will cross each other. So there's only 1 pair of parallel sides. Now, we have the formula for a trapezoid. It's a little more challenging than the formula for the triangle. Melanie? Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
The parallelogram. So, for the trapezoid, listen carefully and make sure you're writing this formula down. Everything I'm putting on the board, you should be putting on your binder page. Our area equals 1/2, and I'm going to put in parentheses base 1 plus base 2 times the height. So what that means, for that trapezoid, we had the 2 parallel sides are our 2 bases. So I could call this base 1 and this base 2. It's the two parallel lines. Those are our base. Height is the same way we found the height on our last objective with that parallelogram. The height goes directly from one base to the other with that right angle. So just like on the parallelogram, our height is that straight up and down from base to base. Another way we could write this formula is we could say the area equals base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times the height. So they mean the exact same thing. We could say half of base 1 plus base 2, or we could say base 1, base 2 divided by 2. Just like our triangle, we could divide it by 2 or do a half. It's the same thing. And then because it's a trapezoid and not a triangle, we have the two bases in there. A triangle only has one base. So the triangle only has one base. Trapezoid has two bases. Just like with our triangle, we had to multiply by the height. Our trapezoid, we have to multiply by our height. When we are looking at our triangle, to find our height, we have to go from our base and we have to go to that top point of our triangle. Watch this. Sometimes we have a triangle that looks like that. How can I know this is my base. How can I find my height? Does anybody know? I want to go directly up from my base to the top point of the triangle. So we can see here, this is my top point. This is my base. How can I go straight up and down to it? How can I go perpendicular? What do you think, Ruby?
Can't you go out of the triangle?
You can go outside of the triangle. My top point is here, so I'm going to do a dotted line straight down. This pen doesn't want to go exactly straight, but imagine that's straight. And then I do a dotted line to my base. So this is my height. From that top point straight down to where that base comes out to. So sometimes you have to find the height outside of the triangle. Layla, can you put the marker away, please? Did you write this down? You did? You put this example down? So remember, sometimes that height is outside the triangle and you have to do those dotted lines. Sometimes the height is inside the triangle. As long as we're going from the base to that top point of our triangle. It's easier with the trapezoid because our bases are right on top of each other, so we can go up and down easier. Any questions on the triangle or the trapezoid? Let's try working on an area together. So let me move up. So just like a parallelogram, the height of a triangle, trapezoid, is not the diagonal side. It is the straight up and down perpendicular. The height is the vertical line. Sometimes it's already drawn in, sometimes it's imagined that connects the top of the figure to the bottom. So we need to calculate the area of the triangle or the trapezoid. Let's do one together. So one triangle. How would I find that area? Hamena.
Base times height.
So which numbers would that be? Because I see three numbers. What is it? 15, because that's my base on the bottom. My height goes from that base to the top point straight up and down. So times 8, and I'm gonna divide by 2 or multiply by a half. Well, what do I do with the 17? Why would I cross it off, Madison? It's an extra number. That's the diagonal line that we don't need. So 15 times 8. 15 times 8, is it 60? 120 divided by 2. So I get 60 for my answer. So sometimes, like if we look at this one, I've got my base and a height and then extra numbers, because I only need 2 numbers. So you have to ask yourself, what's my base? What's the height going from the base straight up to the tallest point? Cross off the extra numbers that you don't need. We're not going to go over it right now. I want you to see if you can figure it out yourself, so no peeking at other people. Claire?
So like, do we times for all of them? Or...
So for the triangle, your formula is always base times height divided by 2. And I don't know why I can't put the H in there.
How did we get the 2?
It's the formula.
Okay.
So we know it's a half of the base times height or base times height divided by 2. It's just part of the formula. So the only numbers you have to fill into the formula are the base and the height numbers.
So do we do that with every single one?
Well, if it's a triangle.
Oh.
So what shape is below the triangle? The trapezoid. So what is my formula for finding a trapezoid area, Layla? Divided by 2, then we times it by the height. So just like up here, we have to multiply by that height, but we're going to do base 1 plus base 2. And we could draw that line here. Here we have 1 base times the height. For the trapezoid, we have 2 bases that we have to add together. So I can't actually put that there because we have to add the bases together before we multiply by the height. Because we have to add those 2 together, base 1 plus base 2, divide it by 2, and then we multiply by the height. Where's the confusion, Claire? Which part? Well, we have 1 base for the triangle, but for the trapezoid, we have 2 bases. So we have to add our 2 bases together. So how do I solve this first one? What equation should I write? Oh, thank you to my friends who are not getting up out of our spots, trying to help our neighbors, because I'm actually teaching up front. So we listen to the directions first, and then we see if we have questions. So Melanie, listen to me, because I'm doing that one right now. Okay, so this is going to help you. When I'm doing my lesson, we are not working ahead because we're missing important information. We're not talking with people at our table because we're missing important information. So let's look at this trapezoid right here. What equation should I write to find the area? Lilia. Base 1 is 10, plus base 2 is 6. Divided by 2.
And multiply by 7.
And I'm going to multiply that by my height. That's straight up and down from base to base, which is 7. So 10 plus 6 is 18. Divided by 2 times 7. Oh, 16. Sorry, thank you for paying attention. Oh, that makes me so happy people are paying attention. Thank you. 16 divided by 2 is 8 times the 7. So I take care of the base divided by 2, bases divided by 2. So I get 8 times 7, which is what, Claire? 56 is my final answer. So it's multi-steps. Multi-steps. Add your two bases together and divide by 2. And then you multiply by the height. So you add the two bases, divide by 2, multiply by the height. So, my friend, what class are we in right now? So should I see us with our binder already put away because we worked ahead and weren't paying attention? No, I should see the binder still out, making sure that we are doing things correctly. Claire.
Times, could you do the one that's like over there? Like, maybe do the one that's like,
Are you talking about for the height?
no, to like the times.
That's the height.
Oh, yeah.
So up here, remember I said base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times that height. So the height is always the up and down. Straight up and down, not diagonal. Straight up and down. Any other questions? All right, if you are watching this at home, I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.